Hey, what's up Xiaomi fans? Christian here. Welcome back to All About Me. Today is POCO Day. As you can see my shirt. And if you've seen the launching event, there were two phones that were announced today. The POCO F4 and the POCO X4 GT. Two phones, great specs. But for today's video, I'm gonna unbox and do a first impression of the POCO F4. I don't have the POCO X4 GT yet. Probably it will come in a couple of days. Probably next week. So we'll be doing that in a later day. But today's video, we're gonna do unboxing and gonna do some first impression of the POCO F4. Okay, let's go. Alright, looking at the box of the POCO F4, it's the regular color of POCO. It's yellow and black, which is kind of cool actually, ever since they launched the first POCO. Alright, so we'll be greeted with the POCO. When you first open it, you'll have the POCO small box, and inside the box, the first thing you have there is the SIM ejector pin. We have an adapter because this POCO F4 does not have a 3.5 headphones jack, so there is an adapter for you to plug in to the Type-C port. And next we'll have the warranty card. We have the POCO F4 quick start guide and also the safety information. Right below it, we have the case. So always Xiaomi phones have this free case inside a box. We have this transparent silicone case. It's not a hard case, it is actually silicone case, but this would actually protect the phone for like maybe scratches. And below that we have the POCO F4. As you can see, I have the black version. It's wrapped in plastic with the key features printed on it. So we're gonna explore that later. Next we have the charger. This is a 6 to 7 watts for wired charging. This is pretty good. It would probably full charge the phone somewhere around below 1 hour, so probably 45 minutes. Okay, and we have the Type-C cable. So it's not an L shape compared to the F4 GT cable. It's just a regular cable, Type-C to USB-A. First impression, it's flat. Okay, it's very reflective. That is for this black color. And at the back you'll have the POCO 5G printed, and you'll see the camera panel. So camera panel, the main sensor is a 64 megapixel camera, and also it has optical image stabilization. So it has triple rear camera. As you can see the flash, there are like 3 flashes over there. And I'm gonna tell you more about that once I do a full review of this phone. And it is pretty thin, as you can see. This phone is 7.7 millimeter thickness. It's not the thinnest Xiaomi I've seen. The thinnest Xiaomi I've seen was actually the Mi 11 Lite. It was 6.8. This is a 198 grams phone. Front and back is actually flat. It's quite surprising that they didn't put in a screen protector in this phone. The other models actually have screen protector already pasted. It's just a film. The front camera is actually a 20 megapixel camera, and it is pretty small. The dot there is really small. So looking at the exterior, let's see at the side. The camera panel is pretty thin. It's not actually protruding that much. So it's not a big bump in terms of its camera panel. So it's really good. I like the way it is designed. It's not pretty bulky. So on the right side, we will have the volume buttons and also the power button. This is also a fingerprint sensor. And on top, we have the microphone, we have the speaker, and also the IR blaster. By the bottom, we have the speakers, we have the Type-C port, another microphone, and there is that SIM tray. So for its SIM card, it's actually using a dual nano SIM, but there's no option for you to upgrade or put in additional memory because there's no memory card slot. Alright, so let me power up the phone. So we'll be greeted by the POCO logo, and of course it will show that it's powered by MIUI. Alright, so I have it powered up. It looks pretty good. This is a 6.67 inches dot display with a 120 Hz refresh rate and a 340 touch sampling rate. So that is the screen that we're looking at right now. It is an AMOLED screen. The POCO X4 GT is actually a LCD screen, so if you are actually deciding which phone to get, once I get that POCO X4 GT, I'll be doing a comparison video as well after I do a full review of that phone. So make sure you stay tuned. Hit on the bell notification icon or subscribe if you haven't already so that you won't miss any of those video updates. Out from the box, this is already a MIUI 13 and it is Android 12. It's powered by Snapdragon 870 and it's capable of 5G. So you won't have any issues gaming. So far I've just tested this for a few hours. I've installed my games, just light gaming or just a few minutes of games. So far it has been smooth. I haven't loaded all my apps yet, so I'll be doing a full review of this phone, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. And also you can have extended gaming with its LiquidCool Technology 2.0. Okay, so let's quickly take a look at the camera. It has a 64 megapixel camera with an optical image stabilization. Also from behind we have an 8 megapixel ultra wide camera and a 2 megapixel macro camera. So front camera, it has that tiny dot, which is 20 megapixel. If you look at the front screen, the bezels are not really that thick. Only the chin part is slightly thicker compared to the other sides, but the dot is actually really small. It reminded me on the Mi 11i, so it somehow similar size dot, which is really good to see. It's almost minimal, and right above it there is the receiver. The receiver is like invisible, so probably you just see a thin line over there. You couldn't really see it clearly, not unless you have a good lighting, which is a really well designed phone. The bezels are really thin and only the bottom part is slightly thicker when it comes to its bezel. And in terms of its grip, okay, so let's just say you don't want to use the case. In terms of its grip, it's a little bit slippery, especially the back, because it is too shiny and it's not a fingerprint resistant. So sad to say, if you put on the case, then probably you'll minimize those fingerprints and you'll have a better grip on the phone. So I usually use the case that comes with this, and yep, it has a rubber feel, so it won't easily slip your hand. But this phone, the weight, the size, is actually perfect. It's pretty good, and if you're probably a gamer, if you want to hold your phone like that, or if you're watching something, it is an easy grip. And one more thing, the speakers, the two speakers are quite loud. I'm not sure what are the speakers. It's a dual speaker, but I'm not sure what are the specs of the speaker. But when you're playing games, probably you'll cover one of the speaker because it's lower, and the other side, the speaker is actually on higher end, so you won't accidentally cover it. I did take a few snaps and it is pretty good. It's pretty amazing actually. Dynamic range is pretty good. I took wide angle lens, also took the ultra wide angle lens, and also the ×2 zoom. It is pretty good. And in terms of its video, you can actually shoot as low as 720p at 30 frames per second, and you can also have 1080p 30 frames per second, 1080p 60 frames per second. We have 4K 30 frames per second and 4K 60 frames per second. I'm going to do a full review of this phone, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. There are also modes that are included on the MIUI 13, or actually in its camera. So the night mode, vlog mode, panorama, and so on. And the battery size is 4,500 milliamp hour with its 6 to 7 watts charger. So probably when you charge it, it won't go over 45 minutes. And I'm already liking this phone. So far, I just got it for a few hours today. Just a day or just a few hours before the launching event. So make sure you subscribe to the channel. I'll be doing more testing, more review of a review of this phone. If you do like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you have questions, leave a comment below. This has been Christian from All About Me, and I'll see you on the next video.